Before going into the topic details, I want to bring your attention to the UPSC coaching programs offered by ClearIAS. ClearIAS offers online and offline courses to help candidates get selected for prestigious government services like IAS, IPS, or IFS. ClearIAS Prelims Cum Mains (PCM) course provides a highly effective study plan, well-organized subject-wise videos, study materials, mock exams, and guidance to cover the entire GS syllabus of UPSC CSE prelims, mains, and interview systematically. As a limited period offer, there is a 40% discount on our online courses. Enroll now.
You might have heard the term intelligence, right? Everybody know being intelligent. I mean, intelligence is a very positive quality, should be high, should be a very respectable quality also. Unfortunately, in India, what we are giving respect is, maybe we will be respecting, giving a lot of importance to film stars, a lot of importance to sports stars, cricketers. But we may not be giving how many scientists' name we know. We don't know. We know all the film stars' name, their father's name, grandfather's name, all we know. But we may not be knowing the name of any ISR or scientist. We may not be knowing the name of, some highly intelligent people from the business sector also. Maybe we knowing Adani or Ambani. But other than that also, there are certain sections which should be given more importance in India. We are setting our priorities wrong. We are maybe the media culture or something like that. We are giving more importance to the entertainment factor, neglecting the other areas which should have been given importance. If you look at the Western countries, they give priority to certain sectors. So that is their priority, and it is only because that was their priority they reached the levels they are now. Now, my point is that intelligence is something which is a very good quality. Usually the term we use for intelligence is IQ. The parameter which we use to measure intelligence is IQ. You probably might have heard like Albert Einstein was a person of very high IQ. He was very intelligent. Even though may not be a scientific step was taken to measure his IQ was measured like something like 160. Do you know what is the average IQ of a normal person? It's 100 to 110. 100 to 110 is the usually average IQ. Those people who are below 110, they are considered people with low IQ. And those who are above IQ, people with above IQ usually have a lot of advantages. Bill Gates is rated to have an IQ around 160. Elon Musk is rated to have very high IQ. Madame Curie is rated to have very high IQ. They are all intelligent. They are very intelligent. Usually the intelligence is being connected with the ability with respect to, let's say, mathematics, problem solving skills, grasping power. These are all the things which we associate IQ. People with high IQ, if I mention one concept, they will immediately grasp it. Maybe if I repeat second time, they will feel bored. Like this person is repeating again and again. Why is he repeating? I already grasped it. There is no need of repetition also. But people with maybe low grasping power, if a teacher explains that concept only once, they may not be able to understand. He may need repetition multiple times to get that concept clear. So it all is connected with grasping power, and grasping power is connected with the IQ also. But that is usually, as I said, measured using the term intelligence quotient. Intelligence was the term which we often used earlier days. Intelligence quotient, the term was already there. But later another term became popular. That term is emotional intelligence. So the reason is that those people with high IQ, even though they had extremely good capabilities, cognitive ability, grasping power, they failed in some other areas. They had some issues in relationships. Their social skills were poor. They had emotional outbursts. Their emotional balance or mental health was poor. So such aspects made scientists to think more about the emotions. Now the notion is that emotion is a multi-dimensional aspect. there are actually 9 aspects of emotion. So now the notion is that, Sachin Tendulkar has studied only like class 9 or class 10, right? But he is also considered intelligent now. Intelligence is not measured based on the academic achievements. But other aspects are also there. So a expert musician can be intelligent because he has intelligence in the music. Or a sports person can also be intelligent because he has such intelligence in that particular area. That's why other sports persons are not successful, and this person had a lot of techniques, strategies, etc. to play and win or get advantage over others. So he has also certain set of intelligence. So intelligence, now the assumption is that it is a multi-dimensional aspect. It has multiple, there are multiple sets of intelligence. There can be language competency, there can be mathematics competency, there can be so many competencies are there. And when such a thought came, scientists again worked on that, and they came up with this concept of emotional intelligence. So this is the intelligence about your emotions. Not only your emotions, but also others' emotions. So what is emotional intelligence? Intelligence about your emotions as well as others' emotions. We take decisions in 2 ways. One is by applying logic. Second is by applying emotions. All human beings are not always rational. Actually, human beings are emotional beings. Do you agree? Mostly we are emotional creatures. Maybe everybody say, why do you want to become an IAS officer? If somebody asks you, everybody will say that I want to do some service to the society, I want to make changes in the society, all such things will say. But that is the logical reason they are trying to give. But actually there is an emotional reason. The emotional reason will be the main emotional reason is to get social respect. They want respect and recognition from others. That's not a problem. That is not an issue. That is not a drawback. But deeply psychologically analyze why somebody wants to become an IAS officer and not start an NGO or not become or a nurse or an LD clerk. Why an IAS officer? Why an IAS officer? Because in India, everybody knows that these top bureaucratic positions command a lot of respect. That respect comes from, even if you trace back how these positions got respect. This has a colonial legacy. IAS, IPS, etc. Particularly IAS, the post of district collectors were them even from the British area. They had power at that time. From that time. So it was there. That kind of officers were the dream job of common man even at that time. So one thing is that. Second thing is that it's not something which is available in abundance. This is something rare. In every family we can find maybe an engineer or a doctor nowadays. But we may not be able to find an IAS or IPS officer in any family. The total number of IAS officers who will come out from India every year is only 180. And the number of IPS officers may be something like 150. So this is something a very rare commodity. These services as such, or the people who get into that. So something which is rare gets a lot of eyeballs, lot of attention. So that is something which adds more value to this. Something is scarce, it adds a lot of value, right? Gold is scarce, gold is valuable. Diamond is scarce, it is valuable. Same way, this is something which is not there in abundance, it has value. The third thing is that there is a notion that this exam is very, very tough. And those who crack this exam are people of high IQ. So automatically the assumption is that those aspirants who crack this exam are similar to the IQ of Einstein, like 160, and so they naturally get that attention. Unfortunately, that is not true. There is no truth in that. But unfortunately, there is a notion like that. I'm not saying everybody who cracked this exam does not have the IQ. Maybe some of them have. not everybody. And this exam does not demand that much IQ also. What you need is a hardworking nature. You need to study some subjects. Maybe you can spend like 4 years, 5 years, etc. But you need to cover cover a lot. I mean, the UPSC syllabus, learn like 15, 16 subjects, learn a lot of topics. If you did that, and if you know how to manage the exam, you will crack it. I mean, irrespective of the knowledge, you know how to prepare for the exam. I mean, knowledge can be also with many others, but in the exam hall also there are so many things matters, like time management, your emotional intelligence comes into picture there also. So many things are there. So that is the case. Now coming back to the emotional intelligence, as Abhijit said, emotional intelligence is the way we use emotions effectively for ours and others, the way we control and recognize our emotions. So that's why I said that we always don't think logically. We don't always think rationally. Most of human decisions are emotions driven. We think emotionally. If let's say, if our neighbor bought a car, we will also buy a car. We will also buy a car. So whether we need a car or not, whether we have the financial capacity to buy a car, that does not matter. The emotion is that he bought a car, so I also need a car. He built a new house, so I also need a new house. He made some renovations in the house, so I also should make some renovations in the house. So that is the case. Or if your peer, somebody who is very close to you, he tried and got into IAS, he got into IAS, so I also should be IAS. So it's all emotion driven. That's how humans work. That's how human brain work. But the intelligence aspect of this is to recognize that, oh, I am thinking like that because it's emotion based. There's no logic. The emotional intelligence is all about understanding our emotions and others' emotions. So why a person is shouting at me? What can be the reason? Is it because of jealousy, or is it because of some of his family problems, or is he already disturbed? Or is there some past action of me which at that time he may not have reacted, but now even for a small thing he is reacting? Maybe he had something, a past history is troubling him. So we need to know emotionally why a person is doing that like that. Even a faculty should also have the emotional intelligence when to stop the class. Like looking at the faces also, we can understand whether the students are enjoying the class or are they sleeping. So if they're sleeping, it's not the fault of the students, it's the fault of the faculty, because he is not able to entertain or make them engaged. Every subject cannot be always done that, but ultimately the faculty should have the emotional intelligence, like when to start, when to stop, what to explain, what not to explain. That is the emotion. He should also be able to control his emotions, also able to understand the emotions of others. And if he is very good with emotional intelligence, we will be able to manipulate or modify the emotions of others. Highly emotional people with high emotional intelligence can make others, they change the behavior of others, change the emotions of others. If emotions are changed, behavior will also change. So that helps. So why emotional intelligence in for a civil servant? This is part of the syllabus, right? Ethics paper. So why this part of the syllabus? So the civil servants usually will go through a lot of challenging situations, highly tense situations. Maybe let's say a civil servant is trying to face a rioting mob, maybe a communal riot, and he is the person who is in charge of handling that. If he becomes emotional, the emotions can be anything. It can be fear also. If he is fearful, everything is gone, right? If the leader who is in charge of taking the situation, if he panics, everything is a disaster, right? We don't know like what is the future of that officer after that. Then also, if he becomes angry also, situation can go out of his hand. So there he needs to show some maturity, show some emotional intelligence, understand the emotions, control his emotions. He may also go through a lot of emotions. So we nowadays give a lot of importance not only to physical health but also mental health, right? The aspirants who go through the journey of civil services preparation, I have always seen that most of the candidates, they have mental health issues, and they publicly say also, because now that is open. I mean, health in the sense that they go through a lot of depression, frustration. That happens. It's a long journey, and there will be a lot of pressures. The peers are getting settled, they are getting married, they are having kids, and somebody is going on site. They are putting photos in Instagram, Facebook, and we are actually studying year after year, every year, and the rejection ratio in this exam. So it adds a lot of frustration, and it affects the mental health. But if they know like this at that time also, emotional intelligence come into picture. They should be knowing like my emotions are playing, but if I should control my emotions, understand it. Otherwise, ideally we should control emotions. We should not let emotions to control us. So that is all emotional intelligence is all about. If we know that we are praying, we are falling for our emotions, we may not be we not become a very good civil servant. So that training also has to start from now. We have to improve our mental health. We should know like what are our emotions. Are we having there is now a saying that happiness is a choice. Nobody else can make you happy. Only you can be happy. Only you can make yourself happy. How can you do that? Every day make a choice that I will be happy today. Irrespective of the results, whatever that can happen that day, you make a conscious choice that day that I will be happy. So happiness is a choice. So coming back to the first question, which we started, what is happiness according to you? You can start saying that for me, happiness is a choice. So if I am taking the choice that my choice is that every day I have to be happy, so I will be happy. That's the case. Happiness is it's not attached to the result of something. Happiness is not tied to something. If I will be happy only if I become an IAS officer. If happiness is attached to become an IAS officer, what are the problems? One problem is that if we don't get an IAS officer, we will be unhappy the rest of our life, isn't it? And what if you're getting that also? If you get that, maybe you'll be happy for 1 or 2 days, but your life is gone, right? You achieved your goal. What after that? You attach your happiness to something else, but that is achieved, and then there will be complete vacuum. So happiness cannot be attached to something like these small milestones. Happiness is something which is a very big concept, very vast concept. Maybe it's a choice. Like every day you can be happy. That's your choice. And it can be attached to something else. Maybe like building good relationships, improving yourself every day. So that happens every day, right? That's not attaching to anything. Improving your performance every day at least by 1%. If that gives you happiness, that is a lifelong thing. It does not end at one point. Are you getting my point?